This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 7th year. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, this is Alex. Yeah, this is the Ramble. We're here until midnight tonight on the East Coast of the United States of America. Hey, right over there. Wait a minute, right over there. There we go. Is Steve Kravitz, ladies and gentlemen. Stephen Kravitz.
Either way's fine.
If we want to be popular about it, if we want to be particular about it, it's Stephen Kravitz.
Well, correct.
Now, when your parents, let me turn my air conditioner up here a little bit. When your parents referred to you admonishingly,
Right.
was it Stephen?
Oh, yeah. Stephen J.
Oh, Stephen J.
Yes.
Stephen
Yes.
J. You stopped doing that, Stephen J.
That's correct.
Right. Okay. I just wanted to know about that. So if I ever have to admonish you, I can,
That is correct. Happy New Year, Alex.
Happy New Year, and we're coming up on Rosh Hashanah.
No, we just did Rosh Hashanah. We're coming up on Yom Kippur.
That's how bad a Jew I am.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. First, like last week we celebrate, and this week we atone. So I guess this week we filled with sins.
So you get
Why not, right?
Yeah, you get to feel good, then you get to feel bad.
Right. For a day and not eat.
Yeah, it's a very depressing holiday, by the way.
Right.
Just
right.
unrelentingly depressing.
Yeah, there's the prayer for the dead in there and the whole deal.
They sing the Kol Nidra,
yeah,
which is the song for the dead. Really, it's a prayer and song for the dead.
Right.
And good, that's nice. Great, we're talking to the dead.
That's right. Those wacky Jews.
Actually, what always bothered me about these holidays where you remember the dead, or even when they have 9/11, is so unrelentingly depressing.
Yes.
Yes. That I'm wondering what it does to people who were affected by 9/11 and whether they feel good about having it rubbed in their faces again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, because I would not want that.
Yeah, you lost a loved one.
Right.
Jumped out of a building because it was on fire. Okay.
Do you remember? Were you awake when it happened?
Was I awake?
Did you see it live?
No, I was
jumping out of the building.
I was awoken.
Right. So you saw the second plane.
Here's what happened. My friend Shecky,
right,
called me at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm going, what the hell did he call me at 6 o'clock in the morning for? I didn't have to get up till like 8 to get to work by 9. Okay.
Right.
But he's calling me at 6. What's he calling me at 6 for? And I pick up the phone and he says, turn on your TV set. And I turn on the TV set and I go, my God, that's the World Trade Center. It's on fire. On fire? He says, yeah, a plane hit it.
Right.
And I went, wow. And as I'm sitting there watching this, the second plane hits.
Right. Do you want to know my opinion of why they were 18 minutes apart?
Why?
Because when the first plane hit, we just got it on a few networks. You know what I mean? We just got basically iPhone footage and tourist footage and security camera. When the second one hit, 18 minutes later, we had all the networks down there because of the first one, so it got more coverage. That's why I think it took 18 minutes.
Yeah, we have very little footage of that first one hitting.
Right.
We do have some. We have one because somebody was doing a documentary on the fire department.
Right.
And they had a camera crew out there, and they just shot up there and they caught it. But the second one, everybody had going. By the way, you mentioned their camera phones. We didn't really have camera phones back then. That's
No?
no. Actually, I think the what do you call it? The iPhone didn't hit till about, God, I'm trying to think. I was here in New York, so I came back to New York. I'm trying to remember exactly when it was, but I'm remembering something like maybe 2005, 2006.
Really?
Yeah, it was the iPhone. Yeah. So prior to that, we didn't
Yeah,
even
but
have that.
prior to that, we had flip phones.
We had flip phones, but they weren't really we didn't think of them as things you
Video. You could take a picture with them, but you couldn't really video.
Yeah, and the picture was kind of a thumbnail picture. It wasn't that
Right.
good.
Right.
Yeah. Today I'm about to buy a new iPhone because the new one actually has cinematic quality.
You're gonna buy the iPhone 13?
Yep. Well,
What's that gonna run you?
Well, let me see here. First of all, I get a trade-in on my old phone.
Right.
Okay, so it's probably not going to cost me any more than the other one did per month. So, it's time for
Right.
a new
Why not?
It's time for a new one. Hold on.
What do you think of the Samsung flip phones?
By the way,
Where-
in case people are wondering what just popped up, I immediately went with this new upgraded my iPhone, my computer. There we go, and all kinds of things are coming up in front here. Anyway, I upgraded my operating system on my computer, and so therefore it comes up popping up asking me all kinds of questions.
Right.
Do you want this to be recorded to this, to this, to this? And it's driving me nuts. And part of it is coming up on the screen that people are watching.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, but anyway, where were we? iPhones.
iPhone.
Yeah. So it's time. I got one about 2.5 years ago, something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
I have an Android.
And I wouldn't get a new iPhone if it weren't for the fact that I use it for video. I shoot most of my video now using the iPhone, and you know how.
Oh, is that right?
I was always big into taking video, so I took video, and it's the new one is better than the old one.
Right. You're buying a $1,200 video camera with a phone attached to it.
Well, the thing is, when they debut the new one, they don't go, by the way, your calls will be clearer.
Right.
I never hear that in their description of the new phone.
No, they don't really talk about the phone. They talk about the camera capability.
They talk about the camera capability.
Right.
Exactly.
So you're buying a $1,000 camera with a $2 phone.
Yeah, and they say, by the way, this is 5G. Oh, well, good. And that's it.
Right.
That's in passing.
Right.
I got a new iPad just recently, and it's supposed to have 5G, and it doesn't pick up 5G. It says 5GE, which is not exactly 5G. So I don't know. I got
5GE, what, that comes up on the screen?
Yeah, I got to call AT&T and find out why it's. Yeah.
Is that who you're with?
Yeah.
Are you happy with them?
Well, they're like any other phone company. They're all assholes.
Right.
And it used to be, I'll tell you, it used to be that when you would call them, you would get immediate service. Oh, we're so happy to serve you. Glad you called. We couldn't be happier.
When they're a startup.
How's your
when
day
they're
going?
a startup, Alex.
Now, I'm lucky if I can understand the language they're trying to speak. I called AT&T the other day to have to turn on the iPad because somehow they couldn't turn it on at the Apple store. There's another one. Shouldn't they be able to turn it on at the Apple store?
Well, aren't the people that work there called Apple geniuses?
Yep, they sure are. That's going to be big news to Einstein. Okay?
Yeah.
I love it when they take a term and they cheapen it. Boy, that guy's a real baseball genius. What?
Right.
What? You apply genius to the term baseball player? I don't understand that. Oh boy, Ed Al Pacino, he's a real genius. What? I just don't understand why we cheapen what should be very special terms only applied to very special situations and individuals. So you go to the Apple store and now you've got a whole bar full of geniuses.
Right, genius is about a C plus.
Well, genius is about whether you can turn your phone on or not.
Right.
The genius bar. Yeah. So there was an old joke on.
Hey, don't you have to make an appointment?
Yes. Oh, that was the other part. I got to tell you what I went through the other day. So I decide I want a new iPad. Okay, my old iPad is maybe 4 or 5 years old. Okay.
Okay.
And the new iPads are sufficiently better. They've got a faster chip in them. Everything about them is better. Okay. No question about it. Better. So I want to get a new iPad. So I figure I'll just go down to the Apple store and I'll look at them and say, I want to buy that. And they'll go, fine, great.
And deal's over.
By the way, I want to turn in my old one for like $170 so I can get a little off on this and whatever. And the guy says, do you have an appointment? And I go, to buy something?
Right.
Well, you have to have an appointment. Otherwise, you could go downstairs and just buy it, but we don't turn it on for you or do anything. And I'm going, wait a minute, I want to buy something here.
Right.
Shouldn't you be going, where's your credit card?
Right.
Instead, I'm getting this, you have to make an appointment. When's the next appointment? 2.5 hours from now.
Right.
I'm midtown. I have nothing to do for 2.5 hours. What do I do?
Right.
So I said to him, forget it. And then I went back to the guy and I said, I've been buying Apple products for 20 years now.
Right.
I said, but this is the last one I'm going to buy. I said, because this is not the kind of service I expect out of Apple. Apple acts like they're all touchy-feely, and we're the touchy-feely company. You have to make an appointment to buy something from them. Yeah.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Yes.
Isn't that ridiculous?
And by the way, miss, you're going to have to make an appointment to blow me.
Right.
I mean,
right.
It just irritated the hell out of me. So finally I decided to go to another Apple store, and I went online and I made an appointment, and they could see me at least a half hour earlier than the other one could. And since I was home already, time had passed, and so I went over to the other place and I bought it. And then they couldn't turn the goddamn thing on.
Wasn't that the whole reason for getting the appointment?
Yeah, so then I go, okay, fine, you can't do that. That's fine. What do I have to do? You have to call AT&T. Well, there's another problem. Okay.
Right.
And I get somebody from some foreign country. She obviously isn't here. Okay. And it's like, what can we do for you? And I want to turn on my iPad. It's not turning on, So finally, she wound up doing it. But the whole process, which should have been a delightful, come into the Apple store. Oh, you're so welcome here. Want a cup of coffee? I mean, a croissant? Something that should have been a nice, pleasant experience turned into a horrific experience from a company that loves to tell you how feel good they are. And they're not. So.
No, they're not. Well, then service is not their middle name.
No, it is not their middle name, and it used to be. It used to be.
And how much is the iPhone 13 retail?
The one I'm going to get is about $1,100, maybe. Yeah.
I can't justify spending $1,100 on a phone.
Well, what you do is you pay for it monthly as part of your bill.
No, I understand that. So it doesn't seem like you're spending that much.
And I should get about $500 off as well because of turning in my old one.
Right, which is an iPhone what? 11?
Yeah, it's the 11. Yeah. And before that, I had what they called an iPhone X. This was the greatest ripoff in the history of mankind. They had the regular iPhone. They had the iPhone 10, or maybe the 9. I can't remember what it was. And then they had this special one called the X, and they're only a limited edition. And of course, like a sucker, I buy one.
Right.
And the next year they come out with the new iPhone, but it's the 11 and it's also an X model. And they do away completely with the old model. So really, when they were selling us the X, they were saying, "Oh, there's a limited edition on this," and blah blah, bullshit.
Right, a built-in obsolescence.
And now here's the other problem. I would get out of all of this. I would just say, "Fuck you! I'm going over to, LG or to who's the big one?
Samsung.
Huh? Samsung.
Right.
I'll go get a Samsung. Nobody says that the Samsung isn't just as good as the iPhone, even in picture quality and video quality. But the fact is, I have my Apple Watch. Okay, I have my Apple phone, and I have my iPad. And guess what all these things do? They
talk to each other.
They talk to each other. Right. So if I get out of the loop on any one of these things, like I get a new phone, then I'm out of the loop. I even
Or you have to buy all new stuff.
I even lose my what do you call it? My email address. Because my email address is like Bennett whatever at me.com or iCloud.com or Mac.com. Right?
Right.
I lose that automatically.
You lose all three of them or just one?
I would lose all my email addresses. Yeah. Yeah. Now, maybe I might not if I keep my iPad, but, that's another problem. I had a deal where I lost my email address for some reason or another. I had switched from one thing to another. And, I know what it was. I think it was whoever was carrying my email address decided to go out of the email business.
Really?
That was it, yeah. And so, it was, I was A. Bennett at nyc.rr.com, which is Roadrunner, which was the kind of the AT&T thing. Well, AT&T did away with an email address. So I was left without email.
Right.
So now I had to get an email address. Well, you can go over to Gmail. That's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, no shit.
So ultimately, I had an iPhone, so I also had my Apple addresses. Okay? But everyone else had my Roadrunner address. And we're doing away with Roadrunner on Monday. Oh, well, fuck you. And I'm without the email address that everybody had on me had changed. I said, well, gee, can I like have it so that it rolls over if anybody tries to write me at that address, and then when they write me,
right.
No, sorry, we can't do that. What?
Didn't they used to do that in the rotary phone days when we had rotary phones? You could leave a forwarding number.
Well, I think it used to be that if somebody called your old number, the operator came on the line and said, well, that new number is.
Right.
But anyway, so I lost that address. And so finally, what I did eventually is I created my own email address.
Right.
I pay for it every year, but it's blah, blah, blah at gabnet.net.
Right.
And so I can't, unless I stop paying for that, I don't lose that. you know.
Right. Right.
But,
And isn't that your main email?
yeah, that's my main email. But
Right.
I asked, you know, the people at Roadrunner. I said, I know what it was. It wasn't Road. It was Roadrunner, but it was through my cable system, which at that time happened to be Warner's. Okay. Time Warner Cable. Okay.
My phone is through my cable company, Spectrum.
Yeah. Well, they did away with it. So I said to him, well, I said, can I then have it so that whenever anybody writes, blah, blah, blah. Well, no. Either that or they told me it would cost me like $100 a year to do it. And I went, geez almighty. You know, you should give it to me. You should give me an easy way to solve my problem. Because you created the problem.
Right.
So that was my problem. I can't remember things anymore, by the way. I've been taking this drug and it makes me forget everything. So I'm trying not to take the drug now, and then I have a hard time sleeping. So
What is the drug?
that pregabalin, the
gabapentin.
the gabapentin, the Lyrica is what
Right.
it is essentially.
That's what I take.
Hmm. Does it make you loopy? Does it make you forget stuff?
I don't know if that's what makes me forget stuff. What my years of drug abuse makes me forget stuff.
Yeah, of course. We can't figure out what's the form of drug usage and what is the.
Right.
In fact,
Right.
the Lyrica might be helping you, for all you know.
Right. Maybe you should take Prevagen.
What?
You should take Prevagen.
Oh, you mean that stuff? My wife says that her doctor, when she asked him about Prevagen, her neurologist said, "Oh, you know what that is? That's cereal."
Oh,
He
really?
says it's cereal.
Is that right?
I don't know. They say it comes from jellyfish or whatever,
Right.
right? Jellyfish? Why is a jellyfish? Oh, a jellyfish never forgets. I see. I get it.
Right. Like a jellyfish has a brain.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know. But I mean, so I'm losing my. I went in to get the phone the iPad the other day, and they asked me for a PIN number of mine, and I couldn't remember it. And the reason was because they handed me this thing to type it into, and it was all numeric.
Right.
I remember it as an alpha. My PIN number.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Like this isn't my PIN number, folks, but like if it were ALEX.
Right.
That's how I would remember it, but I don't remember it as you hand me now a thing and it doesn't have the letters on it. I don't know
Right.
how to do that. So
No, me neither. I wouldn't know how to do that. And all my passwords, because I kept forgetting my passwords. Now I use 2 passwords,
yeah.
and that's it. For all my online stuff, I use just 2 different passwords.
I can't do that. I've got a list of all my passwords, and the reason is I kept using the same password for 20 years.
Right.
Okay, and one day they said that password has been compromised. Yeah, or they will tell you, well, that's the password you used last time. We want you to put in a new password.
That's why I have 2 passwords.
Yeah, and I'll bet the new password is the old password plus a 0.
Actually, plus a 1 and a 2.
Yeah, it's bullshit, you know.
Right.
And
Right.
This, am I getting old? Am I getting to be an old asshole here? But the 2-factor authorization that they make you do now.
Right. I know what you're saying.
I'm going, what? Maybe I don't want it. Maybe I don't care if somebody gets my, identity. It's like Bub says, go ahead, steal my identity, then you'll have no life.
Right.
I mean, come on. I should be the determiner of whether I feel my password is compromised or can be used for something else. Certainly, with my bank account, I'm not going to use one that might be compromised, but otherwise,
Also, on my bank account, I recently changed my username.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's good. Those things that I'm careful about. Okay,
Right,
but otherwise,
right.
I don't care. I don't care if somebody has my, my Netflix account. Fine, have fun, watch movies. I don't care, just
Right,
as long
right.
as it doesn't
It's not
cost.
costing you any
It's
more
not
money.
costing me any more money. Exactly.
Right.
But anyway, hey, listen. You know something? Guess what? It just
No.
flies by. You and I.
Yeah.
Just boom. That's it.
Now, are we going to do this next week, or are you out for
Yeah,
next
no.
week?
Next week we'll do it. It's the week afterwards that I'm getting the eye thing, which
Okay.
I'm not looking forward to.
No, I bet not.
Yeah, but it's probably not going to be painful or anything else. I'm sure a doctor doesn't say, by the way, this is going to be very, very excruciatingly painful.
Well, they never do.
They never do. Anyway,
This may hurt a little bit.
this may pinch a little. That's what they.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Right.
the one they use.
This may sting.
Yeah.
This may sting a bit.
Anyway, great talking to you again, my friend.
Absolutely, my friend.
Always good, ladies and gentlemen. That's the ever popular Stephen Kravitz. Bye, Stephen.
Bye, folks.
This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 7th year. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hello, everybody. How are you? Anyway, I'm. What do you know? I'm out of sync. Oh boy, I give up on this. I really do. I'm giving up. I'm giving up on it. I'm just gonna I went to this new thing with the new went to Apple Big Sur or whatever, and now everything is like off-putting like this. I don't know. I give up. I give up on it. And it seems as though it's because I'm streaming at the same time that I'm doing. I give up. I just give up. Okay, that's it. I really wanna stop doing this because it's not satisfying me. It's just not satisfying me, especially when I have problems like this. I had this last night, and see how I'm out of sync. I guess. I don't know if I'm out of sync or not. At least I'm out of sync here. I don't know if I'm out of sync out there. But you can probably tell me whether I am or I'm not. But anyway, when I go to the what do you call it, to the panel, I won't have that problem. However, so let me go to that panel and see if I have that problem. Let me see here. Where's the panel? There they are. I think we're in sync now here. Was I out of sync before?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yep. Yes.
Okay, I give up. I
So
absolutely.
why don't maybe what you ought to do is give the computer a break, like on Tuesday and Thursday. Just do your Monday pop up, do a Wednesday and Friday late night thing. Get rid of the Tuesday and the guests that you have. Get rid of the Thursday and the guests that you have.
Yeah. And how's that going to solve the problem on the other 2 nights of the week?
Well, we'll miss you, but
All I know is I might be able to reboot this machine and it'll all get better. But I have no idea. I really don't know. So.
How often do you reboot?
Well, I didn't reboot today.
No.
So. I give up with that with the going out of sync. I had everything in sync, and it seems to be having a problem with. I think it's because I'm streaming at the same time that I'm recording now. So.
You're in sync now.
I know I'm in sync now. I'm in sync when I'm just doing this. Okay, But I don't know. I give up. I really give up. I'm.
Well, California dodged a bullet, as everybody probably knows.
Yep.
Yeah.
Larry Elders continues to be an idiot talk show host, and that's it.
Yeah, he'll probably try to run for governor next time.
Next year.
Yeah, next year. Yeah, and he won't win.
He didn't. I don't think he even came in second place.
No, he came in dead last.
Yeah,
No,
he
no.
said he was going to not concede. Well, when you're like in dead last place,
Well, wait a minute. There were other Republicans running
right,
against him, right?
right.
How were
Larry
they?
ended
How
up
were
getting
they doing?
35% of the vote.
Hmm?
Larry ended up getting 35% of the vote.
Oh, I see. Okay, now I seem to be in sync all of a sudden. Wait a minute. Let me show people my camera. Look, am I in sync? See, I'm in sync now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't figure out why I wasn't in sync there, and now I'm slowly, I think, going out of sync.
No, you're still in sync.
I don't know, but anyway, that doesn't matter. I give up. Makes no sense to me whatsoever. Anyway, so yeah. I mean, I think that what the Republicans did was they really screwed themselves over yesterday, because how they screwed themselves over was because there was such a win by Gavin Newsom that basically it gives him the right to go out and just do whatever he feels like doing. I mean, it gives him what's the word we're looking for here? Mandate. Yeah. So I mean, so they handed him a mandate. Good for them.
It cost
I'm
the
happy they
state a
did.
lot of money to play the stupid Republicans game.
Let's see here. Who's Bryson Clark? Let's see if it's anybody we know here. Let me
It's
see.
probably Larkin.
It might no. It actually might be Brian. Sometimes Brian does that. Are you Bryson Clark? Oh well, that's nice. Well, we'll get rid of Bryson immediately.
Nice.
Must be a
Orange.
Republican, red
He's a
color.
well-read person.
Huh? Let me see here.
That's good.
Stop the video.
Oh,
Wait a minute.
first.
Wait a minute. Bryson Clark. Yeah. Stop video. Okay. Stop. Bryson.
Hey.
No. What I do? I got rid of William instead.
Yeah.
He's still here.
Let me
He's
see
talking.
here. Let me see here.
Got it.
Let me just remove him. Here we go. God.
Yeah, you stopped my video, Alex. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Well, we know what you look like.
Wait a
Yeah.
minute. But now everything's frozen up here. Oh boy.
Well, now we're back.
Yeah, and then see all this
Okay.
stuff.
Right.
Look at all this stuff that Zoom puts up here. See in front of the screen, folks. It's ridiculous.
Start the video.
Screen
You can't
recorder.
start your video because the host is. You need to restart my video, Alex.
You can do it yourself, William. Just turn it off and
can.
turn it back on.
I won't let him.
Oh,
Anyway, wait a minute. Now I have to do something here. Oh, this is just it's a pain in the butt. Let me see here. Hold on a second. I got to do something here.
Okay.
I gotta go general, and then I gotta turn now. Those are fine. Okay, fine. I don't know. I give
We're
up.
good.
I give up. And William, are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, here. Wait a minute. Ask to start video. Okay.
Yes.
Ask,
Here we go.
Okay.
There he goes.
And I'm back.
There you go.
Bingo.
Well, Bryson, you asshole, fucking motherfucking cocksucking piece of shit. Look at all the
why don't you
trouble.
tell us
got.
how you really feel, Alex?
I'm gonna hold back now.
Yeah. Boy, well, I'd be glad when I get my eyes done. At least I'll have a week off. Of course, I'll probably be in excruciating pain, but
No.
who knows? I don't know. I'm not looking
It'd be
forward to it.
uncomfortable for a day or two, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, well, I'm uncomfortable all the time now, so
Oh, okay.
what have you. Anyway, so let me see here. How are we? We got anybody listening to us tonight?
You.
Let me see here. Oh, there. I can't tell there. There we go. Let me see here. Ba-ba-bum, ba-bum. And I guess we're okay. Let me see here. Hold on. Oh, but man, I'm so tired of this. It's one thing after another.
Sounded like Pam got the paddle out there, Jeff.
Yeah, you heard it, huh?
Yeah, it sounded like somebody got shot.
That's the paddle. She's testing it out on the couch.
You just did it again. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Bend over, Jeff.
Dead.
Oh, wait a minute. Now I don't get this. I lost something here. Son of a bitch. Where are we? I don't know. Let me get rid of something here. Just you guys talk to each other.
Hey, Vernon, how you doing?
Hey,
Oh,
Charlie.
I'm a little tired from yesterday. This was my habitat day, and it was 89 degrees here.
Oh boy.
Ouch.
That's right. You're in Kentucky, right?
Yeah,
Mm.
Yeah.
It was about the same temperature here yesterday.
yeah. It works out better when we're doing a finish on a house because usually they've got the air conditioning running in the house by that time. But this was a rough in.
Yeah.
This was going in and putting all the wires where they needed to be, and we had a couple of fans, but they didn't do very much.
You
No.
didn't do construction for a living, did you?
No. I picked it up when I first started volunteering at Habitat, and
Nice.
since I've got an electrical engineering degree, I said, well, I know what electrons are. Let me go volunteer with those guys.
Okay. I got some. I had to reboot something here. Oh boy. That's not my night. So anyway, so you're exhausted from the heat down there.
Yeah, I got a little dehydrated, but
How many
Came home.
approximately how many homes do you actually build a year?
our chapter builds anywhere between 18 and 20 a year.
Wow,
Wow.
that's incredible.
Nice.
That's incredible. And are these homes free to the people or?
Oh, no. No, you have to qualify first,
Yeah.
and in order to qualify, you have to have a job.
Yeah.
And you have to put in 400 hours of sweat equity. You or someone can do that for you, like a family member or a friend or somebody like that can help you with that part of the qualification. But then once you're selected, then they build the house for you and you get a 20-year no interest loan.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
nice.
All righty.
Nice.
Yeah.
How much are the houses selling for?
Well, we have two different areas. A newer development out in the eastern part of the county, the average home price for a Habitat home is about 150,000. In other parts of the city, it's about 95.
Almost makes me
Okay.
wonder.
Now my question is, can the people sell the home in that time?
They can after a period of time, but if you don't last at least 5 years, then Habitat repossesses.
Okay.
If you don't stay in the house at least 5 years, then Habitat takes repossession and they'll fix it up and move another family into it.
After that, can you then sell it?
After 5 years, you can, but usually when they start a house, they'll get a corporate donation of X amount of dollars, and that's to cover the material they need to get the house started under construction, the blocks and the wood and all that sort of thing. Now we get a lot of volunteers, like all the roofs of our houses are put on by a roofing company here in town, and we don't have to pay for that. I'm part of an electrician team that does all of the electrical work. Now we don't supply the material. Habitat buys the material, the wire and the connectors and all that boxes, but all the labor is free. The only thing we pay for on everything is the HVAC and the plumbing, and that's primarily because those people have to get the permits from the city in order to new construction like that. Now we have an electrical contractor here in our city that will pull the permits and be responsible for it, and the city says that's fine, even though we don't have a licensed electrician on the job all the time.
Okay. So I mean it's great. And is that the case in every city in the country where they do Habitat for the Humanities?
I think the manner in which we do it is the way the national and all the other chapters do it, with one exception, and that is our chapter is unique by having electrical volunteers. Almost every other chapter in the country, if not all the other chapters in the country, as far as I know, hire out all the electrical stuff too. So they have to pay a contractor to do all the electrical stuff, which we do with volunteers.
Oh, okay. Good. Well, bravo. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's
Wonderful.
great. You do that. You're building houses 90,000. I could buy that with a credit card.
Yeah. Well, what I failed to mention, part of it though, is to cover the cost of the donation by the corporations that sponsor a house. They put a second lien against the house, That second lien then gets forgiven every year past 5 years. So if they stay in the house for 10 years, then 5 years of that second lien gets forgiven, which means whatever equity is in the house will pay off that second lien. Whatever's remaining of the second lien, anything that's left over, the homeowner gets to keep.
So you're kind of protecting yourself against getting ripped off.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. In other words, and how do you qualify? In other words, how poor do you have to be?
There's income restrictions depending on the size of your family. If you're single, or if it's just two of you, or if you're a family of four or a family of six or whatever, there is an income limit that you have to be below that in order to qualify.
I see. Okay. And then when they're paying off the mortgage on the house, is
Yes.
it reasonable within what your income category is?
Usually it's in the $450 to $500 a month.
Okay, that's what somebody would pay for.
Yeah, that's less than my rent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Half my
That's a
rent.
third of my MasterCard. What are you talking about?
Well, I'm happy to
Their
say
sandwiches.
I'm happy to say right now it's more than my rent, but that's another story altogether.
They're all rent.
Oh, well.
What percentage of the people who you've used for the last 10 years or whatever, what percentage of them did it have a problem or was totally successful?
Well, last year the last house that we started at the end of 2020, we had to stop after it was under roof and we got the electrical rough end done. They stopped construction on it because the homeowner that was lined up for that house lost their job.
Okay.
So we stopped until they could get another qualified homeowner for that house.
Okay. All right. And how about the property? Who buys the property initially?
Usually the Habitat will work with the city and they'll get some abandoned properties for $1.
Okay.
And or like the new development I was talking about out in eastern Jefferson County, they partnered with a city agency that got some grant money and they put in all of the sewers and the roads and the electrical power for the underground utilities, all that kind of stuff. They got it all ready for construction, and then they started selling off some of the lots. They developed 100 lots, and 27 of them were designated for Habitat houses. The rest of them were sold to regular builders.
Wow. So, okay, so somebody qualifies for one of these homes. Who finances it? Are there banks that will finance these people even though they may not have a credit?
No, it's all self-financed. Habitat carries the mortgage.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They supply the materials.
Well, the materials are generally covered. The materials you need to build the house are generally covered by the donation by whoever the corporate sponsor is. We have some churches that will sponsor houses also, some big churches.
Now, my question is, there was a question I had here about, oh boy, I forgot what it was. I forget it. Oh.
But here in Austin, private people can donate and they can use that to buy materials for the houses.
Oh, you know what I wanted to ask? What about the actual configuration of the place? I mean, do you do original homes, or do you have a certain amount of different blueprints for?
We have different templates.
Yeah.
Now, the new development out in eastern Jefferson County, we had to modify some of our templates that we had been using elsewhere in the city just to make them more attractive. Like the houses in most areas of the city had 8-foot ceilings, but out there, all the houses had 9-foot ceilings.
You had to blend in.
And you had to blend in. Like we use hardy siding on all the houses, but out there, we put a little trim board along the bottom of the siding, so it kind of dressed it up a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. That's pretty cool. But I don't know if you're aware of this. I was in New Orleans a few years back, and I went down to the 9th Ward, which had been very heavily hit, as you know, by the
Katrina.
By Katrina. and pretty well wiped out. And Brad Pitt went in there
Yep.
and built homes for people. And there's like a whole couple of blocks with these very unusually interesting looking homes that were built by Brad Pitt, who gave them for free to people who'd been wiped out by Katrina. Really pretty amazing what he did, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe you ought to start taking up money. We put in money every week, and the Alex Bennett home could be built with donations from your fans here.
I may need it soon, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
But I don't know. Yeah.
I hear Jeff's got a room for you.
Yeah, downstairs.
By the way, anybody listening out there, where we have not been getting a great amount of callers lately, you know?
Yeah, we're not talking about controversial things.
Well, no,
That's right.
no,
Trump's not president anymore.
It's just
Thank God.
a lot of the regulars just aren't calling anymore, and I don't know why. And it's really starting to distress me.
Larkin got a job. Brian said he's working more. I don't know why Tony doesn't call more often. It sounds like he's going to bed early.
There should be more people, joining in who have never called before, But I'm getting pretty frustrated with this whole thing, and the amount of people that are watching it have gone down too. So, I'm really thinking of stopping this nightly show. I really am. And with things like the technical problems that I'm having tonight and so on, it's just getting to be too much for me. I'm just too exhausted.
Just going to do a pop-up every day of the week?
Not every day of the week. No, I do the pop-up on Monday, and maybe I'll do a Friday show, and leave it at that. That's what I'm thinking about. But, I mean, right now I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted just because I had a few problems here I had to deal with. And and then on top of that, when I go to all this trouble and then nobody calls, how do you think that makes me feel? So and that's not to disparage you guys. Thank you so much for being people who did call.
Don't anybody tell Alex that he just froze up a minute ago.
Did I freeze up?
Momentarily.
Did you guys see me freeze up?
Yeah, just for a second.
Just for a second. Your voice
Split
continued
second.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah, your
Split
voice
second.
kept going.
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, I also give up on the technology too. I really am.
Maybe AT&T is screwing you and they're slowing you down.
No, I don't think so. Because because it is an AT&T. It's FiOS, and they don't ramp you down. I pay for really fast throughput here, so.
What do you
I guess FiOS is Verizon. Is that who provides FiOS?
Yeah. But the thing is that if it slowed down, it probably was something with maybe something with Zoom, that was doing it. But
Maybe.
anyway, how's everything down in? Let's see. Resistance is not futile, and of course there is the.
Is voltage divided by current?
It's voltage.
Ohm's law.
Yes.
That's Ohm's law.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
At least
except
three of
I
us
think
know
technically, Charlie, it should be E divided by I, because E is your electromotive force in Ohm's law.
Jesus,
Well,
everybody wants to change the shirt.
they taught us voltage. They taught us V.
Yeah.
Of course, that was back in the dark ages.
Well, if you're going to use voltage, then you've got to use in the denominator instead
Somewhere
of
in my
I. You need to use A for amps.
in my mind.
Volts divided by amps.
Way back in the early days of my broadcasting, you had to have a license to run a transmitter.
Yeah.
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 What are you
Can't
doing?
get this to work. Oh well. I was trying to. I have an app that has Ohm's law on it.
Yeah.
You put two of the voltage, current, resistance, power.
Yeah.
Watt's law too.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Sorry.
where see you threw me off. Now I can't remember what I was talking about.
Happens
License
all the time.
to operated transmitter.
Oh yeah, we had to have a license to operate the transmitter, And if you were working at a certain low voltage, a low power station, you could do it with a third class restricted, which you got that by simply mailing into the FCC, and they'd mail you one back, and you filled your name out on it, and that was your license. If you there was also a third class restricted, and I think I got one of those, because all you had to do was answer 10 questions or something. But then if you had one to operate like a really high-powered station, you had to go out and get a first-class license, which I never got, because I decided, hey, I never got into this business to be an engineer, and if a station wants me, they'll figure out a way to have me work there and have somebody else watch the transmitter, okay? And I was right. But at one point, I did think about getting a first-class license, and so I started studying for it. And one of the things that came up was that V. And I can't remember where it was, and I can't remember what it was about, but V was voltage.
Something about voltage.
Something about voltage, yeah.
That's right.
But you're familiar with all those licenses, right, Vernon?
Yeah, at one time I thought about going that route myself, and a good friend of mine who was in my wedding actually went that route. He went to vocational school, and he ended up retiring from the state as the chief engineer for the local PBS transmitting station, the TV station. So he's doing nicely. But I went the amateur radio route when I was in high school, so I've been a ham operator ever since I was a sophomore in high school.
Right. But so I just never was able to, I never was able to get a first class license, and I never really wanted to. You could go through cram courses, and they would, I don't know, do a cram course thing with you so that you'd get it, but you wouldn't know what you were answering, And that's the other one the way you could go to get it. I just never wanted to do it, so I just never did it, never got one.
Well, that's the same thing. I wanted to be an engineer, and that's what I ended up going to engineering school.
Yeah.
And so that's why I never pursued the broadcast license, but because I wouldn't go to work in that field.
Right. Hello to Kevin. How are you, Kevin?
Hi, Alex. How you doing?
I'm okay. I'm a little out of it tonight again. I don't know. I decided to stop taking my pill, my pregabalin. See, I can't even remember it. Because I've found that I've been forgetting stuff. I mean, I went in to buy this iPad the other day, and I couldn't remember a PIN number that I had for something.
How many days have you been off pregabalin?
For like 2 days, 3 days, something like that.
Yeah. After a week from now, if your memory doesn't come back, it probably wasn't the pill.
Oh, well, thank you.
Well, my memory's screwed, and I'm 20 years younger than you.
That's very encouraging, Alan.
But it's truthful. I mean, you're blaming the pill, and it may not be the pill.
Could be the pill. Yeah.
Could be. Absolutely.
Could be, but I think it takes quite a few days to really get off this pill. I mean, it's I've had a hard time sleeping the last couple of nights. This is Lyrica, right? Yeah, it's Lyrica, but it's the generic
version. Well, I looked it up one night. You're not supposed to get off at cold turkey, but.
Well, I mean, what am I going to do?
Take it one day, and the next day miss a day, and the next day take one for a week, and
taper off.
Taper off. Thank you. That's the word.
In other words, every other day, every other day, every other day.
Yeah, or cut them in half.
You want to try.
That's how I had to go off Paxil.
Well, Paxil, but you see, it's easy to go off something like that because it is.
No.
Well,
that's why they want you to taper, because it's not easy.
I was on Paxil.
It did some horrible shit to me when I tried to go off of it.
Really?
I can only describe it as hand grenades going off in my head whilst being electrocuted.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Well,
yeah.
Well, this isn't the pregabalin, because I can't go there and grab it. But here's why I can't take a half of one.
Oh, you got a horse pill.
It's a capsule.
It's a
It's a
cap-
capsule.
That's your ivermectin, sir?
Huh?
Is that your ivermectin?
Ivermectin, yeah.
You can
Yeah.
before you put the capsule in your mouth, you can separate it and dump half out.
You
Or
know how hard that is, though?
Yeah.
Jesus, I do it all the time.
You could try it as a suppository.
Oh, wait a minute.
Good
Hold on a second.
news, everyone.
Let me get one of them. Let me see here. Here is the. Here it is.
I hate
Here's
when you're
the
using your
cap.
butt to hold the
Okay.
other end of the
Let's
capsule.
see if there's any way. What are you laughing at? Did I do something funny?
No, I said I hate when you're using your butt to hold the other end of the capsule.
Yeah. What is this pill? Huh. Here's a pill I never even saw. I don't know where that came from.
That's the memory pill. If you take it at work, your
But
memory
here,
gets better.
I'm just wondering, can I take these and split?
Do you take the red pill or do you take the blue pill?
Let me see here. I wonder if I can.
Toss a coin.
No, I guess what I would have to do is probably cut it in half and then put half of it in a glass of water and swallow it. Would that be?
Yeah.
I could do that, right?
Sure.
You're good.
Sure.
It's probably not bitter. You know,
You don't like bitter?
is it a bitter pill to swallow?
Ah.
Actually, it does separate.
But thank you, folks. I'll
Capsules,
be here all week.
capsules tend to separate.
Well, no, I'm gonna have to. I would have to cut it in half and then try.
But we knew they could separate because that was one of the murder plots on Columbo,
What?
where they opened up the capsule and put cyanide or something in place of whatever the medicine was.
Well, yeah, but this one, I think they've actually made it so you can't open. I mean, I can cut it in half, and probably get some of the empty out half of it. And
That's how cyanide got into
You can't pull them apart anymore.
into Tylenol. Somebody
Yeah,
came along and
when they poisoned them back in.
Open the
Yeah, but
capsules.
I'm not out to poison myself. Okay. Jeez Almighty, I'm not out to poison myself. Well, wait a minute. Anybody else here? Kevin, you're a guy who's been on a lot of medicine. How would you take half a capsule?
I wouldn't. I just take it all.
Okay.
So, what you guys are suggesting is I do it one day and not do it the next day, and not I
Right.
do it every other day, and then maybe every third day.
Just
My
go to
doctor-
your doctor and tell him you want to come off it and give you a half
Yeah,
a
they
dose.
give you a smaller and smaller dose.
right.
You just lower your the doctor just lower your dose.
I guess.
That's how I came off.
I already had him lower it already. You know. So.
Well, how
A
many
lot of
milligrams you taking
Taking
now?
A lot of the
pens, give 'em
pills that I
fives.
have. I was
Taking
gonna say,
pens,
a lot
tell
of
them
the
you
pills
want
I have,
fives, and then go to
you can snap them in
2.5.
half.
Yeah.
They're scored, huh, Jeff?
Well,
They
I
have a
mean,
little
but I
score.
guess I
You
guess
snap the pill
I
in
guess
there.
I could put it in liquid and drink it, right?
Never
Cut
tried
it
that.
open and lay it out on the table and snort it too.
Well,
if you
that
want.
too.
If you're gonna put it in liquid, use urine. It works the best. It hides the flavor of the pill. So I've heard.
So you've heard.
She'll be cooking it with a spoon.
Not that you haven't done it.
So I've heard.
Yeah. Yes.
Alex, but I would not recommend you use all of these ingenious guys here, including myself. Call your doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell him what you want to
Best
do.
way
Well, I
to do
told
it.
him I was taking a heavier dose and I wanted a lesser dose, so I'm now on the lesser dose.
Well, how much were
Well,
you?
there you go. You're on step 2
But
already.
I would like to just stop it. Period.
No, but you can't do that.
Well, you're on step 2 already, so just call them and tell them you want the next lower dose, and then call them a week later
Well,
and you
I'm
want the
sure
next
if I
lower.
suffer this out for like a week, I'll probably be
Wait, guys, it
okay.
took me a month to get off
Yeah, it takes a long
It
time.
took you a month to get off what?
Paxil.
Paxil was
Paxil for a
Paxil,
year.
but Paxil's different. Paxil's an anti-anxiety medicine, or what is it? It's
Antidepressant. Just like
antidepressant.
Lyrica.
Yeah, well, yeah, I can understand that, but this isn't. This is a anti
Psychotic.
what?
It's an antidepressant. Just like
No, it's
Paxil.
not an antidepressant. Not at all. Where were you reading
Which
this?
one? What drug are you talking about?
I'm talking about well, gabapentin.
Pregabalin.
Pregabalin.
I had
Gabbling.
no trouble getting off that.
See, Alan, who
That's
who,
neurological drug, right?
Yeah, I was taking it for my
who
my neuropathy in my feet.
Yeah, so I took it for about a month, but I didn't like it, and I just stopped.
so
Yeah,
much,
well, that's what I did
so
because
much
it-
Alan for the guy that Jack Bishop calls Doc.
You know, I can't know it. I can't know everything. You
I
know?
wish he'd quit calling you Doc because it makes it sound like everything coming out of your mouth is medically sound.
A lot of what I say is medically sound. So
No,
Lyric
it's not. Are
has-
you a doctor?
Witch doctor.
a witch doctor? Thank you, Kevin.
Fuck it. Phenobarbital for everyone.
Yeah, right. Right.
That drug's been around for gabbling.
Gabbling.
Hey, when I was a kid, they used to give phenobarbital to kids.
Yeah, well, I went to high school with somebody who was an epileptic, and they had him on phenobarbital. I was like,
Yeah.
dude, that shit'll knock your dick in the dirt sideways. And he's like, I've been taking it for so long, it's like aspirin.
Now he's missing his stomach.
Well, wait a minute. Now,
Pretty much, yeah.
now we have two people here from California, so we can talk about yesterday's election.
Yes, we can.
Which,
Free.
what? Yes, and you were a
Oh.
captain in the general
Wow.
election. So he's
Yeah, I was working all 4 days.
he's the one that fixed it, and
Yeah, I was there watching.
You saw all the cheese.
Yesterday, the nuts came out of the woodwork. I'll tell you.
What do you mean? In what way?
Oh, it was pretty calm the first 3 days, but yesterday they all came out.
Such
was a-
as
The lie is still in full force. Believe me.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
So they think
I had
that
people coming in, walking around the ballot box, checking it. I had people checking our pens for different ink. I had people looking at the machines, telling me that the Dominion machines were rigged. I had people telling me all kind of shit yesterday. It was I thought it was over with. But
Bamboo in the paper.
it was ridiculous.
So how did you handle these people?
Tased him with a taser, of course.
Yeah,
I told them to get the hell out. I run the busiest polling station in the county, besides the county itself, and it was, I knew it was going to be busy, but I didn't believe. I thought it was going to be, just busy. But it was, I had 3 ladies working with me, and when I went for lunch, they came back and told me that one lady stood there and got upset at them because she had to tell them her name.
Give him a fake name. Who the hell cares?
Oh, you
was
mean so you could
amazing.
look at the list to
People
see
coming
if,
in and telling me, how do you want to vote, sir? I want to vote whatever way is safe. Well, pick your choice. You want to use your pen or do you want to use your finger to vote for the one question you have to answer?
Maybe two.
maybe two.
maybe
Yeah,
two.
maybe 2 if you decide. It is just insane. The 2 people came in, they weren't going to vote because they've already voted by mail, which they don't believe in. And they came in and they were checking the fucking pens. And I said, what are you doing? And they said, we're just looking to see what kind of writing it. We see that you're using pens. And I said,
What
Okay.
county are you in?
well, Gilroy,
California.
San Mateo, Gilroy and Morgan Hill, and they're using Sharpies. And I said, what?
Ooh.
They're not using Sharpies. Oh, yes, they are. I said, well, where did you hear that? Well, it was on this. It was on a show, and I said, okay, what show are you watching?
Fox News.
Waiting for them to say Fox or something like that, and they're saying, well, it was. I don't remember. I said, well, you have to be specific so that I can at least let them know. Something I should report. Well, we don't. We listen to the conservative, and I went, okay, that tells me one. And I went, okay, one. It's a conservative. It's a conservative radio show, and it's on one of the conservative stations. I don't remember,
Which
And I
is
go,
all
okay,
of
so
them.
what date was it? And so I started Google. I let her go on with it, and she couldn't name what it was. So she left, and both her husbands says, "At least we're doing it right. We're doing it right. You got pens there." And I said, "Well, thank you. I'll just look it up on the internet."
How was she planning on doing it, not using a pen?
She was doing it by mail.
Oh.
Well,
And she came in to give you a hard
Of course, they don't believe in doing it by mail, do they?
No.
Now,
Oh, wait a
I
minute,
went on the internet
wait a
and
minute.
spent
If she
15
already
minutes.
voted by mail, why did she come in the first place?
my point exactly, but I'll just leave it at that.
Let's just
And
roll with
you-
it.
I started looking it up on the internet. I spent 15 minutes looking it up on the internet, searching the cities, Sharpies, cheating by voting with Sharpies, because she said that the Sharpie goes through, and when they're in the ballot box, that the ink bleeds through to the other ones and marks the other ones wrong thing. And I'm going, are you kidding me? You're not telling me.
Almost a hanging Chad,
This
huh?
stuff is still hanging over from the last election.
This lady sounds like she's on Lyrica.
She could be. I think it's something better than that myself.
Maybe you need to ask your doctor if Paxil is right for you.
And then, so I looked it all up, and the only thing close that I could find was the Arizona issue in the 2020 election, where there was some Sharpies being
There's
used.
bamboo in the ballots.
That was as close as I could get to that.
Ooh, Sharpie.
Then I had the lady that came in, and she was circling around, and she was looking, and I said, which way would you like to vote, by pen or ballot marking device? Well, I don't want anything electronic. I said, well, you just signed on your ballot, on your EBM to get in here, first of all, to vote. So that's electronic. Now you got to decide whether I'm going to print you a ballot because you've just voided your mail-in ballot. Now you have to decide whether you're going to get a ballot printed or you're going to go over there and use your finger instead of a pen to push yes or no. Well, I'll use the touch screen. And then she goes, are those Dominion machines? And I said, I don't know what they are. And I knew they were Dominion, but I don't know. I don't really care. I said, you go over there, you push the button, you print the thing out, and you put it in the box. She goes, I'm not using any Dominion machines. So she goes through the whole thing again. And she gets done, and she comes out, and she's with her husband, and she goes, I don't like this at all. And her husband had used the printout and done it with a pen, and she goes, mine's not going to count. It says Dominion on the machine. And she comes over to me and goes, you're running Dominion machines. And I said, oh, the ones from Colombia?
Oh, it's
And they
Argentina.
go, no, those aren't the same ones. They're not spelled the right way.
Let me just for a moment, as an American, thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you.
Because
I
you
got
had
a lot
to-
of people that said that, but I got a lot of people that gave me a hard time about it.
What you
too.
had to put up with yesterday and bite your lip,
Oh, so many times. So many
is
times.
just amazing.
The last guy came in and he goes, hey, you get paid for this, or is this volunteer? And I said, yes. And he said, well, what is it, volunteer or paid? And I said, this election cost us $276 million, right? And he says, yeah. And I said, I get 275 million of it, and the other million is to pay for all these ballots we got to print. Wow, I want your job. I said, I love being a conservative.
Well, I mean, it's just amazing to me the amount of money that was spent on this useless, absolutely useless exercise.
At the end of the day, it was like, what the hell was I here for 4 days? And to have these people come in here and listen to this crap all day long. I thought it was, pretty much gone, but it is in full force out there.
This
It's in
is
full
why I
force.
vote by mail. This is why I do my ballots by mail. I've been doing it since I was 18.
And there was a lot of people doing it by mail. I was surprised. We probably pulled in 400 in the day by mail because we had a drop box out there. We had our own drop box where people just come in and dump them. But we still had people that insisted on coming in and pulling the ballot box, pulling the ballot and doing the whole thing. But it was amazing how you could see the difference between the people that would not touch that ballot marking device. And all you were doing was literally using your finger to mark a ballot and print it out and stick it in the box. I had a guy come in and start shaking the box. It's a blue canvas box, and he walked around it and he looked at it and he shook it. And I'm sitting there and I'm staring at him because I'm just the captain there. I just sit there and watch the room. And he's sitting there and I'm sitting over in a corner. I was watching West Wing on my iPad. And he's looking, I'm looking at him, and I finally looked up and I go, "Can I help you, sir?" And he going, "Nah, just looking at the box. Heard a lot about these things." I go, "Yeah, if you lift it up, there's a false bottom." I didn't say that, but I was going to. I go, "If you'll notice, you can walk around it." I said, "You can lift it up. It's just a box." I said, "There's a seal on the right side. If you want, I'll get the clipboard and I'll show you that seal matches the number that's on the clipboard. It was sealed this morning. When the first voter came in, they saw that it was an empty box and we put a seal on it." And I said, "It is what it is. It'll go to the office tonight with all the ballots in it." And said, he goes, "Yeah, I've heard a lot about these things." I said, "Oh, is this your first time voting?" Same one that's there every election.
These are the
he just
same people.
Took it and he rolled it around, and he looked at it and he moved it and he just, "Okay, thanks," and he walked away. I went,
And he
The
left.
same people that'll borrow a stranger's iPhone or stuff and punch their number on it,
Yeah.
call, hand it back to the person, and not wash their hands.
yeah.
Not even think twice.
It was strange. It was entertaining, but it was really weird.
You couldn't
Because
videotape
the first 3 days were very calm, and then this fourth day came and it was a circus.
Did everybody have to wear a mask to get inside?
We did not require them. You could wear them, but we didn't require. We wore them all day long, but we didn't require it because we knew it was kind of going to be an issue. But we cleaned everything and all that.
Well, Connecticut is mandatory on all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Like if you go to we went to a place where a guy died, and they go into church. Everybody's got to have a mask to go into church.
Yeah. See, we're on the verge of doing that mandatory stuff here, where our county is kind of a little behind, but I think this week we're probably going to go mandatory. And so they decided to hold back on it a little bit, and we were going to be the cleaner uppers kind of thing. And we're not a huge county. We're just,
Are you in San Benito County?
yeah. But it was interesting. It was a good turnout, but it was really interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Well, my question is now, William, you are where? You're up north, right?
I'm in Sutter County.
Yeah, yeah. And
City.
you know what's interesting is that I think this was a big miscalculation on the part of the Republicans.
Oh yeah.
Because as I said earlier, this gives Gavin
For the
Newsom.
run up to this recall, since I live in really deep red conservative Sutter County,
Yeah.
this is all I heard up to the run up to this recall was, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be Larry Elder all the way. We're behind him." Rah, 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 rah. Oh, these
Yeah,
people are
well, I
stupid.
mean, the thing is that
These people are
this
stupid.
wasn't.
I
This
live with
wasn't.
stupid people.
this
Okay,
wasn't-
I'm just gonna let that be known right now. I'm surrounded by stupid people.
Are you talking- are
there's
you
a lot
talking
of them
about-
there,
are you
but there aren't. When you look at the overall population of California, you see that we've got 55 million in this state, and the amount of people that had to get those signatures, it's minute compared to what this recall had to have to get qualified. It was it
And
was
they
the
mostly came
head of a
from here.
pencil. It was
And it
this
mostly
much.
came from here.
It was the eraser of a pencil to get qualified, and it wasn't going to make it.
And it mostly came
They just
from
needed
here.
people to show up to vote. And in an area like yours, it's just concentrated.
Yeah. This is
You
where it
know, you're in
originates
the
from.
area where they were able to qualify that, kind of thing.
Yeah, this is where it all originates from. And we have people here who talk about the great state of Jefferson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, you people are fucking stupid.
It goes all down the Central Valley.
Yeah, dude, it's like, really?
Well, the thing is that what I was saying is that if Gavin Newsom didn't have a mandate before,
He
he
has
certainly
one now.
does now, because the amount of people who voted not to throw him out of office was so huge. The difference is about what, 20%, something like
Oh,
that.
it's 30%.
Was it 30%? Did it
They're
get up
still
to
counting, but yeah.
No, it's 40. It was 40%.
They're still counting, but it's going to be pretty big.
All I'm saying was something like 35% to whatever his percentage.
75.
75.
Yeah.
I mean, that
Eh,
is
I don't
an
think so.
absolute mandate for him to say, "Hey, fuck all y'all."
In
right?
fact, he won bigger this time around than he did when he ran against John Cox when he was trying to get elected.
Yeah, yeah. And
I hope this hurts the Republicans in 2022.
but what I'm saying is, what was lost here was $325 million. I think is the cost of this.
276.
276. Okay,
Drop in the bucket.
it's been yeah. I mean, what a waste of money.
Drop in the
What-
ocean.
I mean, that money could have been used to put out fires. You
Could
know,
have given everybody $1 million
Yeah.
and had to change.
yeah. So
If he wants to give away money for getting COVID shots, why didn't he just give everybody $1 million?
yeah. I mean, it's just, but it was just, I think, terrible, and I think it's time that California maybe come out and say, look, it's time for us to do away with this kind of thing and not allow
going
these
to.
Looks
recalls.
like they're going to work on that. The
They got to reform that recall bill and figure out more criteria to have a recall.
Yeah,
a
because
different
I remember the last time we did this and we had Arnold, but at least Arnold cared about governing.
Who?
yeah.
Yeah, at least he cared.
He
Well,
didn't-
he
wanted to do the job.
he
He
was
wanted to do the job.
he was a reasonable Republican.
Yes, he was. In fact, even though I voted for Mary Carey, the porn star with the big titties,
Yeah. Well,
But-
and with good reason.
it was good reason, yeah. But he turned out okay. I mean, yeah, there was some like the Prop 8 thing, and okay, but he wasn't perfect. But he was
Arnold
okay.
was a porn star.
What's
What?
that? Arnold was a porn star?
Yeah, Google him. Early in his late teens and early 20s, he modeled in some gay porn or something like that.
No, he didn't.
Huh?
No, he didn't.
It's
He
good
may
that
have
we
done-
got on the show.
He-
Wikipedia is always wrong.
No, but he may have done some male nude photography,
Oh.
or posed for stuff, but he never did porn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He just posed nude. In fact, I think I've probably seen that photo of him.
And that's why you voted for him?
No, I didn't vote for him. I voted for Mary Carey.
Oh. Because
No,
she had
Arnold
better
was
tits.
Terminator.
No,
But
actually,
I did pull the
the
lever for him the second time.
truth of the matter is, Arnie did have better tits than Mary Carey.
This is true. And I ended up pulling the lever for Arnold the second time.
Really?
What lever?
The voting lever.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, I mean, Arnold has always been a reasonable Republican. He a while back when he came out for vaccinations in no uncertain terms. I
And he
mean,
believes in climate change.
he
Yeah.
believed in climate change. Yeah.
I think he knew that he couldn't run for president, so why not be the best you can
Well,
as
he-
governor?
Well, no, he couldn't run for president anyway. He's not a natural born citizen.
That was my point.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But then again, neither was Obama. So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But bumps.
yeah.
Kevin, you ought to take one of those boxes that you used that's empty now, put it outside, and maybe that guy wants to walk around it some more.
Yeah, it was funny. It was
How
interesting.
come we never asked Trump for his birth certificate?
Yeah.
Well, I believe he was born in the United States because he's dumb enough to be an American.
Yeah, pretty much.
He, by the way, did you see that he's making more appearances now? He's starting to talk about running again.
He's stirring it up with General Miley.
Yeah, they're putting the fencing up around the Capitol area again as we speak. They started tonight for this rally that's going to be on the 18th, and one estimate said they may have this Saturday, and one estimate they might have 700 people show up.
And they're all related. Yeah, 700 people and 3 last names.
Yeah, there they are. The conservatives spending more money that we don't need to spend. Isn't that great?
And by the way, how much is that fence costing to put up?
Right?
A bunch.
Well, they already bought the place.
What?
Yeah, they just pulled them out of storage from the last time.
Before.
Oh, okay.
But they have to put it together.
Yeah.
No, it's expensive to anytime we do anything like that, it costs.
But you got to pay all the overtime for the cops, and yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought conservatives were supposed to be conserving the money, not spending it like that.
Oh, please.
Right?
That idea went out the window with Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, I understand that.
$4 trillion later.
Yep, I understand that.
Can we not say that the government spending is out of control? Our national debt is approaching $1 trillion. You remember he said that?
By the way, can I say something in just closing tonight? And this is going to sound inappropriate, but it isn't as inappropriate as it sounds, because once I say it, it will make sense.
Okay.
I really want to thank Larry Nassar for molesting those women on the Olympic teams. For this reason, it was the only time today that I ever heard the Democrats and the Republicans in lockstep.
Right?
Yeah.
It took a bunch of women being molested for the Democrats and the Republicans to agree on something.
Sad state of affairs,
isn't it? Though
this is what it has to come to.
Yeah. So whatever. Anyway, hey, listen, I'm going to play the theme here, and then I'm going to say goodbye to you. And when I come back on full screen, folks, you're going to see me completely out of sync. But I've been in sync for most of the show here.
You've done great.
You did great. Just tell everybody to go home.
I'm just pooped. I'm exhausted. Jeff Stein, thank you. William, always good to have you here. Always good to have you here, Alan. Charlie Wallace, deep in the heart of, Vernon, thank you for being here, Vernon Nunn. And, of course, Kevin for joining us and telling us all about how crazy Republicans can get when they think their vote is being challenged. Anyway, I want all of you to give a big wave goodbye, and I will give a big wave goodbye back at you, okay? There they go, folks, okay? All right, and see, I'm completely out of sync, all right? Isn't it wonderful? Okay, anyway, why am I out of sync? I have no idea. I can't figure it out, so. Anyway, hey, listen, Jack Bishop is next. He'll be here with the intersection. He'll be taking your calls on Skype at Gabnet Live. I'll see you again tomorrow night, right back here at, let's see here, 10:30 Eastern Daylight Time. Same station and life. And in the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.